What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, guys. We have NFL Sunday picks and preview. I have my 5 favorite plays for you all overs. I absolutely love these 5 plays for you all today. But before we get into today's picks, just a quick little programming note. I'm recording this as the Seahawks 49ers game is going on. So don't have all the ruling on the picks from yesterday. We do know that Mike Evans did not even come close to his targets line. So the format is not going to hit, but the jury's still out for the next 3 picks in the 49ers Seahawks game. So more to come on that. But for this NFL Sunday, I'm taking all 5 picks on Chalkboard. Guys, if you're not on Chalkboard yet, sign up using my code TEACH10. That'll give you a 100% deposit match into the app, which means up to $100 bonus cash when you do deposit on Chalkboard. They also give you free profit boosts every single day. Just go check it out in the app. It's really cool. They have cards that you open. It's really nice. They're giving you a ton of free value. So go sign up to Chalkboard. Link in the description below of the video. All right. Now, if you're not on Chalkboard, get on Betr. You guys can use my same code, TEACH10, for both Betr and Chalkboard. All right. When you do use my code on Betr, you'll get a free $10 into your account just for signing up. That's it. They'll give you free $10, and then they'll give you up to $200 bonus when you do make your first deposit in the app. And Better's going to give you a free Lamar Jackson square for this Sunday. So if you like my picks and want to add one on, or you want to swap one out you don't like, you can add in this Lamar Jackson free square for all new users. He's just to get 1 passing yard, and you boost out your multiplier. All right. So that's all I have for that. Let's get into today's picks, shall we? For this NFL Sunday, Week 18, the last week of the NFL regular season. I am using a 50% payout boost on this, so bear with me on that. That's why it's a 20x play. All right, that's what you're seeing there. We're going nuclear. All right, this isn't my favorite play yet, but it's one of my favorite plays of the day. That's for sure. It's Tyler Shuck. Man, this guy's been absolutely incredible. Possible Rookie of the Year candidate over Ted McMillan. I mean, if he plays another great game in Week 18, it's hard to look away from it at least. So we're going with over 248.5 passing and rushing yards because this guy's a beast. Yes, Chris Olave is out. Does that hurt? Yeah, sure, absolutely. Chris Olave is definitely very good, but I mean, look at Shuck, man. Look at since he's come into the league. Struggles in his first 2 games. All right, still getting his feet wet. It's the NFL, sure. That happens to pretty much every quarterback. And then over this line 3 times, 1 slower game in the division against the Bucs, against a tougher team, and then 3 straight games over 300 passing yards and rushing yards, excuse me. So he's throwing for almost 300 yards the past 2 games. He had some rushing yards mixed in there too. So he can move if he needs to, but it's mostly getting it done with the arm. Gone over this line 6 of his last 10, where he's averaging 227.7 passing and rushing yards combined. Yes, that is lower than what is advertised, but if you look at these last 3 games, and he's absolutely balling out, and he seems to have figured it out. Tyler Shuck's a hooper, man, and he's so much fun to watch. And against this Atlanta team that they're facing, now Atlanta has an opportunity to play themselves into a 3-way tie, which then kicks the Bucs out of the playoffs because the Bucs now won against the Panthers. Really confusing stuff. So, but Atlanta cannot make the playoffs. So, just throwing that out there. But the Falcons are top 11 in passing yards allowed. So that does hurt a little bit, but they're 26th in the league in rushing yards allowed. So hopefully Shuck can maybe break one loose for like 20 yards. That would be pretty sick. But I still have all the confidence in the world, even with Olave out, that Shuck's going to find guys open. Most likely Saints probably go down in this game, so they're going to be passing more anyway. So it just seems like it makes a lot of sense. And that's what leads me into my second pick, which is Kevin Austin Jr. to go over 47.5 receiving yards. Because Mason Tipton is out at wide receiver, and so is Chris Olave. They found a blood clot, and it's long, kind of scary stuff. But that means Kevin Austin and Dante Pettis are the Saints' top wide receivers. I can't even say that without laughing. That's just sad. That's the kind of the state of the union at the New Orleans Saints organization. But yeah, like I said, the Falcons are 15th in receiving yards allowed. and 20th in the league in actually receiving yards allowed to wide receivers, so they're worse against receivers. Kevin Austin's going to be the number one guy for this week. Great opportunity for him to do something great. Over 47.5 yards. Yeah, this feels almost too easy because, he did go over in this line in his last game. He hasn't really done much all season. But last 3 games, 5 targets, 3 targets, 5 targets on 3 receptions, 2 receptions, 4 receptions. So he's at least getting a few balls per game to him. So with Olave being out, that means there's more targets to be eaten up. And then tipped in out as well. Kevin Austin's going to be the main guy, along with Dante Pettis. They're going to be seeing a lot more of the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints do more Taysom Hill stuff, but that doesn't really matter to us. Kevin Austin's going over this line. Now, heading into my third pick, we're going with a guy that we've bet on a few times this season. Because, why? Because he's just pretty reliable. It's Nico Collins to go over 55.5 receiving yards because he's gone over this in 8 of his last 10 games where he's averaging over 80 yards per game. So go figure on that one. Now, a little bit less yards in the last 2. I think that's why the line has dipped down a bit. But this guy proves he's a number 1 receiver for any team in the league if he wishes to be. Against this Colts team, they're second to last in the league in receiving yards allowed, giving up over 266 receiving yards per game. That's just absolutely terrible. And second to worst in the league in receiving yards allowed to wide receivers, giving up over 171 yards per game to wide receivers. Man, that's just terrible. With Nico Collins being the number 1 guy, who also leads the team in target share by a good margin over Dalton Schultz, and then the field between everyone else on that skill position roster for the Texans. It's mainly Nico Collins. He's the guy they're gonna go to. He's gone over this line in 5 straight games, going to 8 of his last 9. The guy's just really good. I know he hasn't done much as of recently in the last few games, but he still did get 9 targets in that second game, just didn't catch that many. So he's still getting the ball a good amount. He's number 1 wide receiver for a reason. 55.5 seems way too low. Feels pretty easy to me. Now this is my favorite play of the day. It's my guy. I am a little biased, but it's Drake May over 265.5 passing and rushing yards combined. Oh, man. And not enough great things to say about Drake May. But what's really important is after Matthew Stafford's bad performance was that Sunday night or Monday night? Monday night against the Falcons. He threw a couple picks. The MVP race has kind of fallen back into Drake May's position in his favor. So one more good performance in Week 18, I think pretty much seals the deal on that, unless Stafford has a ridiculous game this week. But as long as Drake May doesn't do anything stupid, I think the MVP is his, which is absolutely incredible, man. He's been balling out this year. But this 265.5 line, he's gone over it in 9 of his last 10 games. Just look how consistent he is, too. It's nothing crazy. It's not like he's throwing for 400-plus yards a game. Nothing crazy. Just consistently throwing for 250 yards, picking up a few rushing yards here and there when he needs to scramble. It's just incredible stuff. Averaging 295.2 passing and rushing yards in those 10 games of those last 10. One bad game against the Bills where he actually didn't even play that bad. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, so that's a little that number is a little misleading. But yeah, dude, this guy's been incredible. And against this Dolphins team now, I know the Dolphins, when they play the Patriots towards the end of the season, it's kind of spooky because the Dolphins have found ways to win games that either have mattered or haven't really mattered at the end of the season. Usually haven't mattered, at least for us, and probably for them too, because they don't make the playoffs, and we're already in the playoffs sitting pretty. But the Dolphins are 18th in the league in passing yards allowed, giving up over 216 yards per game. In rushing yards, they're 24th in the league, giving up over 125 rushing yards per game. So Travion and Ramondre should probably have some good games as well. But I think Drake May can also scramble for 15, 20 yards, which helps us as well. But I think this line is still way too low. With how Drake's been so consistent, right around that 280 mark for the combined, at his lowest, really, when he's consistent. So, I think he's going to have another great game. This offense can put up like 4 or 5 touchdowns. He'll hit this line easy, and he'll lock up the MVP, man. So that's my favorite play. MVP on the line for Drake May. He's going to get the job done. Now, for the 5th play to round us out, it's Derrick Henry. It's tractor Cedo season, over 89.5 rushing yards. This dude is an absolute beast. If you watch that Green Bay Packers game, I mean, oh my God, there's just utter domination by Derrick Henry up front, just running over dudes against a Green Bay defense that is a good run defense specifically. Not just a good defense, but a great run defense, and he just embarrassed them for four touchdowns. Absolutely insane. I feel like the colder it gets into the season, the better Derrick Henry gets. I think that's just how that works. Also, when it's colder, teams want to run the ball a little bit more, keep your guys warm. Also helps as well. But anyway, Derrick Henry has gone over this line in 6 of his last 10 games, averaging over 100 rushing yards per game, 103 rushing yards per game. Dude, look at these last 4 games. 94 yards against the Steelers, 100 yards against the Bengals, 128 yards against the Patriots, and then 216 yards last game against the Packers. Like I was talking about how dominant he was. Now they're going to play the Steelers again, and he did it against them last time he played them, and he's done it a couple times in his division too. So nothing that he's afraid of. I think he can go over this line pretty easy. This Steelers team is just, yes, this game is for the playoffs and for the AFC North. And I think Derrick Henry knows how important that is. He's going to get these yards, no problem. Steelers are 12th in the league in rushing yards allowed, but they still give up over 110 yards per game. And they're worse against the running back position, giving up over 94 rushing yards per game. This plays right into our hands with this line at 89.5. I feel pretty good. We're getting decent value on some books and some not so other. But as long as Derrick Henry can break off like 2 medium-sized runs or 1 really big run, we're hitting this easy, and we're cashing out all 5 picks. Now, to round us out, let's recap these 5 picks. Again, 2 in the same game. We got Tyler Shuck over 248.5 passing and rushing yards combined. Kevin Austin Jr. over 47.5 receiving yards. Nico Collins over 55.5 receiving yards. Drake May over 265.5 passing and rushing yards combined. Derrick Henry over 89.5 rushing yards. All right. And guys, if you haven't already, guys, download the Pick'It app so you can track all of your picks across all of the sports books that you use. Syncs up all of your sports books into one app so you can track all of your picks combined. So you don't have to be going through different apps trying to figure that all out yourself. Pick'It does it for you. They will also pay you to use this app. They were literally going to pay you to sign up. All you got to do is download the Pick'It app, use my code TEACH10, and sync up a sports book that has 10 or more bets on it, and they will give you a Venmo or PayPal of $3 or $100. Now, I don't know about you, but a chance at $100 sounds free enough to me. That's what it is. It is free. So go sign up to Pick'It, sync up all your sports books. Hope you guys have been enjoying these videos. In this video specifically, please like, comment, subscribe if you have not already, and join the channel. I will see you all tomorrow for Monday Night NFL Picks.